Are you wishing that you had a deeper connection with your paintings, that there was a greater sense of meaning that goes beyond well-constructed compositions? And are you tired of always reaching for that color wheel to tell you how to work color in your work? Well, I'm going to share with you a crucial piece in the development of a painting so that you have a resolution that's both well constructed and carries a deeper sense of connection and meaning for both you, the artist, as well as the viewers of your work. Hey everyone, welcome to Whole Artist Mastery. I'm Marianne Mitchell. I created Whole Artist Mastery to help artists like you understand what it means to make whole art and how that makes you a whole person and ultimately contributes that energy to the whole world. So if you like what you see, love for you to like the videos that you watch and subscribe to the Whole Artist Mastery YouTube channel. I'm so glad that you're here, so let's get started. Almost every artist I work with, as well as myself, find that impatience is almost impossible to keep out of the studio. We live in a world where we typically have 5 seconds to catch our attention or to have our attention roam somewhere else. We are so fractured in the way that we conduct our daily lives. Well, most of the people that I know, including myself, maybe you're sitting there saying, I'm not sure what she's talking about. I'd love to know your secret. Anyway, but what that does is takes away the concentration, the focus that we need to drop deeper down within ourselves as we're developing a painting. Now, many people I know meditate. I myself find it a little difficult, but I think of this process that I'm about to share with you as a form of meditation. What does that mean? It means that you sit with your painting and you allow it to tell you what is supposed to happen. And at the same time, living in that balance between waiting for the painting to tell you what to happen and you telling the painting where to go next. Now, some of you might be scratching your head and saying, how can you have a conversation with your painting? It's not like the painting is actually talking to you. But here's the thing. The more you quiet your mind, the more you drop expectations as much as you possibly can, the more you hold kindness for yourself. You move into that liminal time where you begin to have a relationship with the line, color, shape, value, and texture that you've put together in a visual language, grammatical kind of way to create meaning. And if you're looking at your painting without a connection of meaning, that means that you may have orchestrated your visual language to create a very well constructed composition that means absolutely nothing to you. This has happened to me time and again, and it was so informative for me when I read the biography of William de Kooning. It's titled De Kooning, an American Master, and I'll put a link down below for you to go check it out. It's a tome, but it was a crucial game changer in my understanding of myself as an artist and the process that many artists, including myself, go through, and including de Kooning. It was a little strange, comparing myself to de Kooning's process, but there it is. And so he would sit for sometimes weeks on end trying to understand what the painting was saying and what he wanted to say to the painting and how to move forward. I'm going to walk you through a couple of paintings of mine to illustrate how I employ this liminal time that kindles a sense of conversation between me and the paintings that I'm working on. The first painting that I'm going to share with you happened over about 16 months. Now, the image that you're looking at was a couple of passes after Reckless Abandon, so I had already formulated a composition, which I thought I liked it. And that was the problem. I just liked it. I didn't have a sense of how I wanted to develop it. I liked it as it was, but I also knew that it wasn't finished. So I kept on going and took it back to what I call demo mode for mentorship artists that I'm working with to show them various different techniques. So in the second image that you're looking at, I was illustrating how you layer color and create luminosity and work with shapes and white and black. And I showed it to a friend of mine who is also an artist, and she said, "Oh my God, I love it. Would you consider leaving it the way it is for a while?" I said, "Well, I don't really like it." And she said, but just leave it for a little while. See if you can grow to like it." So I left it for, I don't know, several months. Kept looking at it saying, I wish I could see what she sees in it. But I just had no connection with it. So I took it to Maine last summer, where I go for my own personal artist retreat. And so now this image that you're looking at took it in a whole different direction, which has to do with the influence of the colors and the weather and how my mood completely shifted from being on an island off the coast of Maine. The second picture that you're looking at was where I took it from the first, and at that point I started to think, this is beginning to feel like it's broken in half, and when I brought it back home this past fall, I just had a total shift in the kind of color palette I wanted to work with. I didn't want to do bright colors. Now, I'm trying to figure out if that was an intellectual decision or an intuitive, emotional. I think it was a combination of the two. But this image that you're looking at now is where I took it in November and covered over all the colors and brought it back to a more geometric composition. And the last image that you're looking at is the final piece, which I titled Listen Carefully, which is actually rather apropos of this discussion because I'm talking about listening carefully to your painting and listening carefully to yourself and understanding how your feelings are taking shape in your painting, but also understanding what shows up in the painting without your control, and understand how that informs how you feel. And then working those two things together so that the conversation between you and the painting is what ultimately creates a painting that you feel a connection with, that has a meaningful story, and other people can see that as well. The next painting that I'm sharing with you, I started in the spring of 2022, and it's the one that's behind me right now. So I started it and brought it to what you're looking at right now fairly quickly. And I really liked what was going on, but there was something in me that knew that it wasn't quite finished. It just didn't feel like the surfaces were refined enough. The colors were less refined than what I'd been doing around that time and subsequently. And yet I liked it too much to feel compelled to radically change it. So years go by, it's now 2026, and I pulled it out of storage and felt absolutely nothing looking at it. I mean, I still enjoyed the composition and the colors, but I was ready to just dive in and radically change it. So the next image that you're looking at is where I went next. Now you might be wondering, radical changes, she's still got that horizon line in there. And that's true. I'm trying to work with that horizon line in a different color palette and see what develops. So the next iteration that you're looking at is fairly close to what you see behind me, and that's the last image that you're looking at. And I've turned the yellow now horizontally, and I actually have an idea. I actually have an idea that's rooted in a feeling. And I need to keep it secret right now because it's still going through that alchemic process. And I really want you to hear that, because sometimes talking about what you're doing or having people ask questions and give you feedback about where you are on a painting, when really what you need is just sit with yourself and the painting and let that conversation evolve. Let that conversation reveal what you feel and what you need to do next with line, color, shape, value, and texture to allow that feeling, allow those thoughts to become part of the painting. I really hope this was helpful for you, that you have a greater understanding of what it means to have a conversation with your painting, and you telling it what to do and for it to tell you what to do, and living in that what I call liminal space that is crucial to developing a painting that you really feel a connection to and is well constructed in its composition. Love to hear your thoughts down below. And I would love for you to join the Whole Artist Mastery community by going to the website, wholeartistmastery.com. Put your email in, sign up for the mailing list. You'll get a free PDF introductory guide to Whole Artist Mastery philosophy and some of the approaches for making paintings. And you'll get invitations to my free events. So they are Wham Wednesday, which is a conversation series monthly on Wednesdays, and Sunday in the Studio, which is a time for artists all around the world to paint in their own studios together at the same time, generating this creative collective energy and putting it out into the world. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.